Hey everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today in this episode of CBD 101. My name is Erin, and I am the Manager of Training and Education for Nature's Ultra. And I am very pleased that I am joined today by David Little, Global Agronomist for Young Living. Today, David is going to talk to us about hemp production. Welcome, and let's get started.
Awesome. I'm excited to be here to talk about hemp production. One of the things that I want to get into is the structure of our farms and how we're organized at all of our farms for our hemp production. So in 2019, when Young Living acquired Nature's Ultra, we were very excited to work with them because the farms that they had already connected with as seed to seal certified suppliers already fulfilled all of our requirements for our seed to seal standard of quality.
So David, tell me, if someone is getting a bottle of CBD today, is that coming from here?
It's not coming from our corporate farms. It's a certified seed to seal supplier. But as we continue through our discussion today, I'll talk to you a little bit about the role of our corporate farms in that development and where we're headed with our seed to seal certified supplier and with our hemp production in general.
Perfect.
Awesome. So one of the things that we have to be very conscientious about is the legality of industrial hemp production. And why that is industrial hemp and the CBD production. Industrial hemp is the cousin to the marijuana plant. And so there's a lot of stigma out there. Oh my gosh, this is marijuana. Well, guess what? It's not marijuana. It's a cousin plant, and we extract just the potent compound of CBD for our wellness. And so with that, one of the things that we have to do as a producer is we have to certify with the United States Department of Agriculture and be licensed to grow. And so this is our license to grow industrial hemp at our corporate farms. And each producer of industrial hemp has to have that license so that they can track who's growing it, how it's being grown, and to ensure that the THC levels are not above an allowable level of 0.3%. And so with that certification, we get audited. The USDA comes in and they pull samples of our plants and test to ensure that everything is in line and above board and according to their policies and direction. In addition to working with the USDA, one of the challenges that we had was actually seed production. And here I have a trichome of an industrial hemp plant that we've allowed to progress through to the seed production stage. And in time this will dry and we'll harvest the seed from that plant. So typically with industrial hemp, when we produce hemp for the production of CBD, we take it to a flowering stage, and once it goes into the flowering stage, we don't want it to be pollinated. We don't want it to reach that reproductive state. As soon as that hemp flower gets pollinated, all kinds of things, different chemical interactions and hormone interactions start to happen in the plant. It changes the makeup of that essential oil and the makeup of all the constituents in the plant. And so we don't want it to be pollinated when we're producing for CBD. That allows us to maintain a high CBD level in the plant and a low THC level. In the event that we allow that to progress too far, the THC can escalate. So once this is dried, I can then extract the seed. And I have a number of seeds laid out here, and the reason that we do that and extract them and allow them to dry, then they cure, and now they're viable seed. And this takes about 1 month of drying time for them to get from a state of just the seed is now produced to where I could actually plant it and get it to grow.
Are these dried in the sun? How do you dry these?
These are air dried, so we don't necessarily want them to be right out in direct sun.
Get scorched.
They get scorched. I don't know that it has a negative impact so much, but we want it to dry slowly, so we keep it in a shaded or in a covered building, and it's just hung to dry. And once they're dried, then we can pull the seed out and plant them in the soil.
Awesome. So then, where do we go from there?
We're studying a lot about the right genetics, the right seed, how to produce it, to ensure that we get the proper genetics right from the get-go. And so when we grow that plant and test it for CBD, we're looking at CBD percentages, THC percentages, and to make sure that all the quality that we're looking for is there. And we want to make sure that we have a pure line of seed that is stable to be able to grow and produce the plants that we want.
So we really are doing research right now.
That's right. So our certified seed to seal suppliers are already in full production.
Right.
Large-scale farms, they produce mass quantities of industrial hemp according to our seed to seal production guidelines.
Yes.
And at our corporate farms, we're studying out, are there things that we can do to improve on that? What are the best management practices for hemp production that we can take back to our certified seed to seal suppliers and help them to continue to improve their production?
I love that we're working with them to always improve. We think that's something that Young Living is huge on, so that's
Yeah, absolutely.
big that we're doing that.
That's probably one of the big differences between Young Living and a lot of other product suppliers out there in the world is we work hand in hand with our own corporate farms that we own,
Right.
and then those corporate farms work together with our certified seed to seal suppliers to ensure that we're following all the same production practices across the board.
Thank you all so much for joining us today in this episode of CBD 101. Please remember to like and subscribe and join us in our next episode about hemp production with David Little.